some Zeke Elliott trade rumors, which Josh said. I didn't know these were rumors. I'm out here, out west, and it's like I'm disconnected from the Cleveland world. I didn't even know the rumors. He sends me an article saying that we are, first or second odds-on favorites to sign Ezekiel Elliott?
Something like that. It was, the thing is, the source wasn't confirmed, so I don't know how legitimate, but it was legitimate enough that Sports Illustrated put out an article about it, so.
Yeah, so what are your guys' thoughts on that? Do you find that Zeke Elliott, do we need him? Would he fit? What do you guys think? Don't everybody jump.
I'll start it. I'll just be honest. I love Zeke. For the Buckeyes, great Ohio State player. But honestly, I don't see how it fits. Like, to me, I've been very excited this offseason to see what Jerome Ford can do with opportunities. I mean, he had 8 carries last year. And what we saw in the preseason, we saw flashes of what could be very, very promising. So for me, it just, last couple years of Zeke, from what I've saw, he's not the same guy. I think Dallas completely overworked him and just burned him out. I'm not saying he's done, but to me, it just doesn't make sense. I'm okay. Do I think we need running back depth? Sure. But I just don't think that we need to spend the money there on Zeke. And I don't know what you're going to get him for. I mean, it can't be obviously that bad, but if you're thinking Kareem Hunt lost a step, what do you think's going on with Zeke? Because I don't think he's that far off of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so whenever I saw this pop up, I mean, first of all, I just want to say that it seems like anytime anybody mentions anything about a running back going to the Cleveland Browns fans absolutely tweak. Like, they lose their minds. I saw so many people on Twitter saying, no, we're good. We got Chubb and Ford. Guys, we're not rolling into the season with 2 running backs. We are adding depth one way or another. And, I'm with Justin, like, for the money. I don't know what Zeke is looking for, but my gosh, he's still out there in free agency. Nobody's signed him yet. If we're able to get him at a pretty good price, why wouldn't you want to bring in as much talent onto this roster this year as possible? The Browns are clearly swinging for the fences this year. And where Zeke fits for me, though, if the Browns were to do this, is mostly in the third down passing game. He's a good pass receiving back, and he's a great pass blocker. His pass pro is awesome. He was great in college, great coming into the pros. I just looked up some stats because I was curious as to, like, how good is he at his pass blocking. His pass blocking efficiency grade last year was 97.8. That was 3rd overall amongst all the running backs in the league. He had 52 pass blocking snaps. He allowed only 2 pressures, no hits on the quarterback, no sacks. So, I mean, on obvious passing downs, Zeke would be a huge asset in the backfield.
No, I'm with you. That's exactly what my thoughts were. You got to get him for like $1 million a year or something. Like, I'm not saying to go out and sign Zeke Elliott to an $8 million a year contract or something. You got to get him for, it's got to be pennies on the dollar, for it to be worth it. But like you said, he's one of the best pass blocking running backs in the league. And then Chubb is going to be your main back,
Yes.
But
yes.
If you can get, Ezekiel Elliott he's not washed. I don't think he's definitely not the Ezekiel Elliott of 5 years ago. But I think if he gets the ball on 2 screen passes, 3 screen passes, maybe gets 6 carries or something like that, and then you can count on him to be in there in a pass blocking role, to me, that's good. The biggest thing is if Chubb goes down, even if you slide Ford into your number 1, then who's your number 2 then if Chubb goes down? You know what I mean? So do you want John Kelly to be your number? Do you want to roll with Jerome Ford and John Kelly? I don't want to do that.
No,
so
not at all.
even if you bring Zeke in and you're still saying that Chubb is your 1, Ford's your 2, I think you could split the 2 duties a little bit between Ford and Zeke. Because I don't think we're going to give Chubb 25 carries a game, So if Chubb gets 17 carries, then you can give 5 to Zeke and 5 to 8 to Ford and let Zeke and them catch a couple passes. That might be what you do this year. Like you said, we need depth because we can't, if you lose Chubb, even if we think Ford's going to be great, you don't want, he's not going to get the ball 30 times. You know what I mean? That's not the way we run our offense.
Right. And like, you know, if the Browns are trying to move to this more pass-focused offense, we're going to be in passing situations where it's obvious it's going to be third and long. You know, the Browns, they're going to have 3rd and 8s and all this stuff where the defense is just going to bring pressure because they know we're dropping back to pass. It'd be great to have Zeke back there knowing like he's not letting anybody get to Watson. And not that Dak Prescott is a super mobile quarterback, but he's also not a stationary guy. So Zeke is familiar with blocking with, you know, for a quarterback that can move.
No, I agree. And if it's not Zeke, if we're not signing Zeke, we're going to sign somebody. I would
have to
eventually. So, if it, at least for me, if we're going to sign somebody, why not be Zeke? You know, as long as it's if he's going to sign for the same price as a nobody, then just let it be Zeke.
Right, exactly.
I love the guy. And 2, I still think he can be productive in certain situations. And 2, I think he can help keep Deshaun on his feet. So, I mean, if the price is right, why not? Again, if he wants $8 million a year, obviously no. But if you can get Zeke Elliott or Joe Schmo, and they're both costing the same, obviously I'm going to take Zeke Elliott.
Yep. What do you think, John?
I was looking up some stats. So 3.8 yards per carry last year, which was his career low. So I do kind of agree. He had 12 touchdowns though, rushing. So yeah, I mean, I think it depends on how you use him and how much how much you have to pay him. Like Blake was saying, and then if you get him for a good price, it makes sense to bring him on board. And if he wants a lot of money, then you just have to look elsewhere.
Who would you guys rather have, Zeke or Lenny? Leonard Fournette.
Zeke.
I think I'd rather have Zeke too. For me, the pass blocking is key for what the Browns are trying to do.
Well, I know Zeke has lost a step too, and like same with Kareem we talked about. When I had Leonard Fournette in fantasy, so anytime the Bucs were on TV, I would watch him. Man, he looks just big and so slow. He looks, if he doesn't break tackles anymore, like he looks slow. I would definitely rather have Zeke over Fournette. Like that's no question to me.
See, the thing is between those two guys, the Cowboys shifted to a focus on Pollard, but they still utilized Zeke because he was capable. Yeah. The Buccaneers completely did away with Lenny and just said, give it to White.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I also have him in fantasy, so good for me. But their quarterback's going to be Baker, so I don't know. Just because the rumors are out there. For the record, people, don't us say and don't try to speak this into existence. We didn't make up the rumors. We're just telling you our thoughts on the rumor.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dawgs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at the Dawgs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedawgspodcast.com.